Hey guys, so I have some more samples for you. I know these have been coming in like crazy. This is from same guy who had sent me some in the past. I think it was the first video I did of sample impressions. Yeah. It's a friend of mine from Bass Notes who I have done a few swaps with, sold a few splits to. He's an awesome guy. His name's Josh. So I told him I would do another sample impression of the stuff that he sent. So here we are. I have one from the Labo line, 3 from the Dior Exclusive line, and 1 Amouage for you. So all niche. Should be good to go. These are all 5 new to me. I have not smelled. Well, I had to decant one of them because he sent me, it was a Lucky Scent sample. I put it into an atomizer and I got a whiff of it, which was Amouage Gold. So that one I have a little preview on, and we'll get to my impressions of that in a second. But anyways, let's start with, from Le Labo we have Santal 33. Here is the vial. Hey, look at that. It worked out my focus issues a little bit. I didn't even do anything. Alright, let's give this a spray and see what we got. Whew. Alright, this is a bit of a boozy sandalwood. It's kind of odd because I'm almost kind of getting, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Certainly a lot of sandalwood in there. Not the pencil shaving sandalwood that some people have said about Tom Ford that they use a lot. This is a little, well, let's get to the notes and see what we have. Maybe it'll help us out a little bit. Notes listed are sandalwood, of course, Virginia cedar, cardamom, violet, papyrus, spices, leather, musk, and amber. Maybe it's the cedar that I'm smelling here. And the cardamom, I don't really. Violet, I'm not getting that. Leather, no. Certainly, maybe some musk and amber in the background, but that's really just kind of a background thing. According to people on Fragrantica, most of them say that they get this papyrus thing. I don't really know much about what papyrus is, or, well, more of that, what it smells like. It's kind of a greenish thing. Maybe that is what I'm smelling. I don't know. It does kind of have a little bit of a green, grassy vibe to it. So yeah, that's probably, okay, I can see that. It's kind of toning down. The sandalwood is wearing off a little bit. It's still there, but it's not a huge shock of it. This is nice. Yeah, I think this would be good for spring and fall. Maybe for like a cooler spring day, or in the fall, because this does give you kind of a leafy, woody smell to it a little bit. But this is nice. I do like it. Alright, next up, from Dior, Patchouli Imperial. Let's see what we can get out of this guy. Alright. Now, some of these Diors are simplistic. The notes on this one are much the same, and wow, that's, if you don't know what patchouli smells like, get a whiff of this, and that'll tell you exactly what it smells like. Yeah. Notes here, there are only 3 listed, and they are patchouli, coriander, and sandalwood. Well, that's pretty much what it is. It's patchouli, a whole lot of patchouli. You do get a little bit of the coriander, that little spiciness, and yeah, that's not really a whole lot of sandalwood. Some people here say on Fragrantica say that this is the main note. I don't really get that. I mean, I do a little bit, but it's really way in the background. The patchouli here is very overwhelming. That's an interesting one. You know, I found with this whole line, this is the third one that I've smelled now. The other two are Ombre Nuit, which I've already split, and Eau Noir. They're very, very different. And I think that's really the hallmark of this line, is that they've put out stuff that really you haven't smelled elsewhere. The green coffee weirdness is really how I can describe it, of Eau Noir. This very, I mean, yes, it's very heavy on patchouli, and a lot of other fragrances use patchouli, but this is, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out a way to describe it. Obviously, if you're not a patchouli fan, don't go anywhere near this. You're not going to like it. But if you are, if you're a patchouli fanboy, this is worth your shot. I could potentially see a split there. Potentially. We'll have to see. Moving along. Staying in the Dior line, we have Vetiver. Now, I know some people have commented about the fact that I spray this on my little wooden table here, that the liquid gets through, but fear not, that is a very heavy lacquered table, so this juice is not affecting the table at all. So Vetiver, oh boy. I must admit, Vetiver is not my favorite note in the world. I've come around a little bit to it in the past, or then from where I was in the past, but it's still not my favorite. This one, when I was looking it up, I was interested in trying it just because of what they put around the Vetiver. The three notes that they have listed here, and this is coming from Dior's website, are Sicilian grapefruit, South American Robusta coffee, which more or less amounts to coffee, and Vetiver. And it was mainly the coffee that got my attention, because again, with this Dior line, mixing Vetiver with coffee, that's not common by any means. Certainly putting some citrus around it, that, you know, that's been done. But as you know, as I'm sitting here smelling this, I did get a little bit of blast of grapefruit up top, but that's faded away. This really is a very, very raw coffee with Vetiver. There is a lot of Vetiver in here, so if you're not a Vetiver fan, you probably aren't going to like this. But it has a very, I'm trying to think of the right way to describe it. This is not a typical coffee. This is nowhere near a coffee of a New Harlem, of a I Love New York for All, of a Rokas Man, or however the hell you pronounce that. This is a very dry, bitter, not sweet at all coffee. So again, very new, a different interpretation of Vetiver here. If you're a Vetiver fan, Mickers, you might like this. I know you're not into the whole coffee thing a little bit. You're not into the big sweet. This is not sweet. This is not a gourmand by any means. And don't get fooled by the citrus. That's really, I mean, I can't even smell it anymore. You might like this if you're a Vetiver fan. So Mickers, get a sample of that. All right, next one, Amouage Gold. And as you can see from what I wrote on there, that was my first impression. I'm actually, all right, I'll spray it. I'm scared to spray this, to be honest. I got a little bit of this on my finger, or on my wrist rather, when I was decanting it. It's not coming out, that's probably a good thing. And I couldn't stand it, to be honest with you. Did I break the atomizer? Really? This is a first. I think I broke the atomizer. It's not coming out. Wow. I think I just made YouTube history. I'm the first person in the fragrance community to break an atomizer on camera. I wasn't trying for that. Wow. Jesus Christ. How about that? Well, you know what? Let me just give you a very quick impression. I hated this. This is a baby powder bomb. If you think Le Mans is a powder bomb, holy jeebus. This is nuts. This is powder, florals. I mean, take the Fleur de Mal, pour some baby powder on top of it, throw some really light florals in, and you got this. I don't know how in the world they called this a men's fragrance. No, sorry. Josh, I love you, man. Thank you so much for the samples. That one, that one's not my favorite. Moving along, the last and final one, the ever-popular Leather Oud. This is one I've been waiting to try out for a while. When I asked people which of the other Diors that they wanted me to split, this by far was the one that got the most attention. Far and away. I know Oud has been a popular note on here lately, so let's get to this. Whew. Oh, there's Leather and Oud in there, all right. Wow. I can see what people say about this having a very animalistic quality to it. This one has some bite. Wow. Whew. Let's get to the notes quickly. Patchouli, sandalwood, birch, cedar, vetiver. Animalistic notes of leather and civet with notable agar and other woody nuances. Also ingredients of cardamom, cloves, amyris, beeswax, amber, labdanum. I think that's it. I just totally read those out of order. I apologize for that. Well, this is most definitely masculine. You know what this reminds me of? Some of you, I know a lot of you here are from New York City. I live in Boston, as you can tell from the thing behind me. My roots are actually originally from New York City. My father was born there. This smells a little bit like the scent you get from some of the street vendors in Manhattan. From like the stuff on their griddle that's been there. It's not a bad smell. It's not like, that's not the greatest image in the world, I know that, but this has a burning quality to it. I get a lot of the, well, let me tell you what I don't get. No, I don't really get beeswax. Don't really get much cardamom. Don't really get much sandalwood. Birch, cedar, vetiver. Not really. This is a burning leather with a bite of oud. And that civet note, which is an animalistic thing. I don't know. I know if they were to source it naturally, it would actually come from animals. Mostly they use synthetics. I don't know if this is synthetic or if it's natural. They might have the animal rights activist up their ass if they did. Whew. This one's rough. I probably shouldn't have smelled this last, as my head is going bonkers right now with all this. And this one, this is very complex. Whew. Again, very unique, new, different. It's the whole line is very impressive in that regard. You know, if you don't like something they put out, at the very least, it's most likely going to be something that you have not smelled before, and that's the sign of a niche line. You know, if you're getting something new for your money, you can't get anywhere else. It's got to be a niche. Whew. I can see why people like this. This is good. So, anyways, that is that. Thank you very much to Josh for these samples, and keep an eye out ahead. Got a few more splits coming up very, very soon, and I'll see you guys soon.